Good day, great engineers. My name is Godwin, and I'm back again with another tutorial on how to repair ATM clamp. Now, this is an ATM clamp, and the ATM clamp consists of various parts. These parts include the clamp latch. We also have the 15T gear. I put the part number on the up. We have the yellow wheel and another 15T gear. We have clamping guide. We have clamp belts. Most of these parts make up the clamp. There are several other important parts I've not shown you that I will show you during the process of dismantling the clamp and coupling it back. So as you can see, this is where the clamp latch is connected. These are various parts of the clamp. By the time we start dismantling the clamp, you will see where all these things are removed from and how they are put back. So that's it. This is a clamp belt. This is also called, that yellow stuff is called the 15T gear. Now this is the motor of the clamp. The motor is divided into two. One controls the movement of the clamp and one controls the clamp belt. So that's it. Now this is our clamp, the clamp we're going to use for this tutorial. Now this clamp you are seeing here is a good clamp, but I'm going to dismantle this clamp and I'm going to couple it back for you. You are going to see how to lose all the parts of the clamp and how to put it back. Now this plastic you are seeing here is very important. Now this is another gear too and bearing. So just watch closely and you'll see how we are going to do this dismantling. So in case your belts are not good, you want to replace it, watch and see how to replace it. This yellow thing I'm pointing at here, this gear is a 15T gear, is very important as it can cause your clamp to be throwing out cash. But this one I'm pointing at now, it can cause your clamp to be throwing out cash to the customer. I'm going to show you everything in detail and you're going to see that dismantling clamp and coupling it back is an easy job to do. So these are all the gears that are in the clamp, all the gears. So one half of the motor controls movement of the clamp and the other half controls bringing out money from the belt, controls the belt. So losing this clamp, we're going to lose this bearing. So to lose this bearing, you're going to use a flat screwdriver. Try to use a very flat screwdriver to be able to pull it out. You can use a thin one at the beginning and use a bigger one later. So when you pull out this bearing, you see the bearing. The bearings, we have lots of bearing in this clamp and most of them are different from each other in size. So now this is a gear, 15T gear. So I'm losing the other side too. When doing this, be careful in order not to damage the bearing. So that's it. So when you lose it, you push out this metal, this rod. When you push it out, the rod will come out just like that. When the rod comes out, there are plastics that are hooked to it. They will fall out on their own. So now it's time for us to lose the screws that are holding the clamp chassis to the motor. So there are 3 screws on the right and 3 on the left. So we are going to carefully lose out these screws. So that's it. So when we finish losing out the screw, we will now be able to bring out the motor from the chassis. So just be careful when you are doing this. Just observe how I'm losing my own screw. We'll lose out the screws carefully. So when you finish losing out the screws, you can now be able to bring out your motor. I remove my screws before removing my clamp latch. The yellow plastic there on the body is called the clamp latch. This yellow plastic is called the clamp latch. So I'm removing the motor. You have to pull it and the motor will come out. Now this motor, I told you is of 2 parts. One side controls the clamp movement and the other side controls the clamp belt. Now if you look closely, you see that this is where you put your clamp cable, that white clamp cable, and it contains 4 different wires. 4 different wires. This metal cushions the effect of the motor on the clamp chassis. Now this is the clamp chassis. It's made up of 2 parts. We have the upper part and the lower part. Now I'm going to show you how to remove them. Now this is a clamp latch I'm removing now. Before you remove the clamp latch, because the clamp latch has 2 teeth that used to hold it on the inside, be careful not to damage those 2 teeth that are holding the clamp latch. So before you remove the clamp latch, you have to open the clamp a bit, open up the clamp for you to be able to bring it out with ease. Just watch carefully how I'm going to bring this one out. It's very simple. You would have loosed those other the bearing and the gear that are holding it. Then just pull up the clamp open and you pull out the clamp latch. So that's how to remove the clamp latch without destroying your clamp latch. So this is how I pull out the upper part of the clamp chassis. Now this metal I'm pulling out now, it holds the clamp belt. I'm trying to bring out the belt in case the belts are bad. Maybe I want to change it. So this is how I replace it. So this is the belt. The clamp has 4 belts, and the 4 belts are of the same sizes. The 4 belts are of the same sizes. Now this wheel, this yellow wheel, we call it yellow wheel, it has its part number I showed you earlier on. It's different from the white one at the mouth of the clamp. So I'm still trying to remove the second belt. So watch carefully how I'm doing it, because if you observe carefully, you'll be able to do it on your own. Now I'm removing these springs. For us to be able to dismantle this clamp fully, I'm removing these springs. Watch carefully, because I'm going to remove all these springs because they are the ones holding this metal. So by the time I remove them, I will now be able to bring out this metal. And let's say I want to change this yellow 15T gear. So for you to be able to change it, you have to be able to bring out this rod, bring out the 15T gears, because if they are bad, it will cause your clamp to be throwing cash to the customer. So that's it, this 15T gear. So if in case I want to replace it, I have to pull this thing out. All these all those springs will scatter. So I'm going to carefully show you when I finish how to put back all those springs, everything together. So these are the clamping guide. Be careful when removing the clamping guide. One of the clamping guide in my clamp I'm using for this tutorial, the one on the right is broken, so it's not good. So I'm not going to put it back. Although it can work without the left or the right clamping guide, but the middle one is the most important one. So but be careful, ensure you put them back. But in case any of them is not working, let it not be the middle one. The middle one is the most important one. What does the clamping guide do? It helps to hold money when it's entering the clamp. It rests on the clamping guide. So that's it. So I've removed the clamping guide. Be careful when removing it, in order not to damage it, because you can easily break the clamping guide. So now I'm trying to remove this rod. To remove this rod, you have to pull this gear up a bit and now push it to the right hand side. By the time you push it to the right hand side, you'll be able to pull it out. So that's how we normally pull out this rod. Although it's a bit difficult for beginners, so but with time you see them, it will be easier for you to pull out. So now you can see that these gears are removable. Now I'm still trying to bring out the belt in this one, because for you to bring out the belt, you have to remove that rod that I removed. Now I have to remove these metals that are holding the belts in place. Now remember I told you that the belts are of the same sizes. Both the belts of this lower chassis and the belts of the upper chassis, clamp chassis, are the same sizes. So just watch carefully how I remove this metal. For it's very simple to remove. You pull it a bit from the bottom, then you pull it out. So that's it. So now I'm going to pull out. You have to stretch the belt to pull it out. So that's how to remove this. As you can see, my clamp is almost naked. Now these are the magnets of the clamp. These magnets, they do a very good work. When the clamp is going forward, it tells the clamp that you have reached the output tray, the presenter. It tells the clamp you have reached the presenter, and the clamp now stops. Now if your magnet is not good, or if your magnet is missing, you'll be having issue. Now this plastic too, I will explain more on it later. I'll explain more on it later. So still on the magnet are very important. The magnet too has polarity. It has polarity. In case your magnet pulls out, bear in mind that as you're putting it back, you have to put it back based on the polarity. So these plastic are very important. Bear in mind the one on the left and the one on the right are different. The white one, the one that has white, stays at the mouth of the clamp, whereas the yellow one stays in the middle. See the one that is white, see where I pulled it out from. The one that is white, see where I pulled it out from. Whereas the one the yellow one is in the middle, so they are not the same thing. So don't mix two of them together. Now these springs are of different sizes. We have two types of spring here. We have the one that has a curve, and the one that doesn't have the one of them, the leg is curved, bent a bit. The other one is just straight throughout. Now we are going to, both the left hand side and the right hand side are going to use both the curved one and the straight one, but the middle one is going to use only the curved one. So that's it. So I'm going to start putting this thing back. Just watch, observe carefully, and see how it's going to be done. Observe carefully and see how it's going to be done. So this one, that the leg is curved a bit, so that one is going to be the first one that I'm going to put. Just watch carefully. I'm going to put it. Watch carefully how I'm going to put it. Now I'll put this other one. This one has a shorter side and a longer side. The shorter side will enter inside, while the longer side will stay out. Now this the first one I put, the curved side, I will need to tuck it inside. Is part of what holds this rod. So watch carefully how I'm going to tuck it inside. I've tucked it inside. Once I tuck it inside, it will stay strong. It will stay strong. Then you have to push this rod a bit. When you come to the when you reach it, then you now put your 15T gear. 15T gear is called 15 tooth or 15 teeth gear. I don't know why they call it 15T 15 tooth, but that's what it's called. So now put this metal back. Then you have to put the spring on the inside. You have to put the spring on the inside. The spring on the inside. So it has, the middle one has only one spring. It doesn't have two. But the left and the right hand side, it has two springs. So now see the spring I'm going to use. Okay, the one I'm going to use for the middle, it has a curve too. One of the leg is curved too. One of the leg is curved. So I'm tucking in the curved side. Watch how I did it. I tucked in the curved side. So, and that's it. Once you tuck it in very well, the thing will start pressing. I'm putting in this 15T gear too. The 15T gear is very important. It's very, very important. Now we are going to put the last one. You have to observe this area very well for you to be able to do it. It might take you time to master it, but you'll be able to do it. So remember, we are putting two different types of spring here. One has a curved leg and one has two straight legs. But the one that has straight legs, the shorter one goes on the inside, the longer one stays on the outside. So the one that has curved leg is at the edge, whereas the edge of the right hand side, whereas the one that has straight legs is by the left hand side. Watch how I'm doing it. So you have to tuck it inside. You have to put it inside for it to be able to work perfectly. So now I will not be left with two of the spring metals coming out. This one helps for the clamp to go up and come back. You see, it works with the motor. It's when you use the motor to press it down, so it will help the clamp to go up and come down. So now I'm putting these yellow wheels. For me to be able to put my belt back, I have to put those yellow wheels. Just watch as I'm putting the belt back. Remember, I told you the belts are of the same sizes. The belts are of the same sizes. The belts are of the same sizes. So see how I put the belt back. Ensure that it's rolling properly. Ensure that it's rolling properly. So that's it. That's it. So I'm putting the second belt. I'm putting the second belt. That spring I explained to you, you have to master it very well for you to be able to do it. So I've put the second belt. Remember, the middle one have one curved leg. The left and the right hand side, they have one curved leg, whereas the ones that are straight are just one on the left, one on the right. So now I have to put back this clip, this metal clip that is holding the belt area. have to put it. Once you put it in, it will make a clicking sound. The thing will click inside. So that's how to put it. You just put it, then push it a bit, it will click, the thing will click in. So that's it. I finished coupling the upper part of the clamp. I've finished coupling the upper part of the clamp. When you turn it, ensure that it's turning perfectly. Now we're going to deal with the lower part of the clamp, chassis. Now I'm going to start by putting this rod. Now this rod has one of the edge, that's one of the side is shorter. It has a short flat side. One has a longer flat side. The one that have a shorter flat side, I'm putting it on the right hand side. So now watch the directions I'm going to put this. This is also called a 15T gear, just like I told you before. If the gears are bad, it will cause your clamp to be misbehaving and throwing out cash. So now see this side, the mouth has a more flatter side, so it stays on this other side. So that's how we put it. If you turn it in the wrong direction, it won't work, because this side is going to have more gears. So that's why the flat side is longer. So we added an additional one gear to it. That black gear you can see there. So that's it. So you push the rod out and it comes out to this side. So later we will now use the bearing to cover it. That's it. So I'm putting the belt back. Be careful when putting the belt. Don't damage your belt. I'm putting the belt back. So when you put your belt, I'm putting this white wheel, this white roller. You know, I told you that it's different from the middle one. The middle one is yellow, whereas the one at the mouth is white. So it's different. So, but I'm going to fix this roller first before putting it, because it's harder to put when the belt is already there. But it's easier to put when the belt is not there. So I'm putting the belt. Ensure that your belt is facing the right side. Don't allow your belt to turn upside down. Make sure your belt is facing the right side. If you turn, you see it will be turning perfectly. It will be turning perfectly. So that's it. So now I'm going to clip it so that the stuff will not pull out. Clip it, it will make a clicking sound. So that's it. Then clip the other side too. Don't forget to clip it, because most times out of excitement you might forget to clip this stuff. So that's it. So when you finish clipping it, it's now time to put this yellow wheel, the yellow wheel on the middle. It's now time to put the yellow wheel. Ensure that it's rolling perfectly, and put the other one on the left. So that's it. You can observe, you see that it's rolling perfectly. It's rolling perfectly. So now I'm going to put back this plastic. This plastic is very important. If it's bad, your clamp will be hanging. Most of the new ones we buy from China, most of them are not that good. Most of them are very thick, that it will be hanging your clamp. So most of them will now bring it out and scrape it a bit. But if your own is like this, it's still a bit okay. But if it's more than this, if it's thin more than this, it is bad. So it's just good for it to be moderate in size. It's not good for it to be too big. It's not good for it to be too thin. If it has chopped inside too much, it will still be hanging your clamp. But if it's too big, it will still be hanging your clamp. So now it's time for us to put this rod. Observe this rod carefully. It has a direction. Observe it carefully. I'm going to put it. The rod is a bit hard to remove and a bit hard to put back. Now this one, the longer side, the side that has a longer flat side, the side that has a longer flat side stays on the right hand side. Just observe the hole I'm putting it through. This is the way I'm going to put it for it to be able to click in very well. Just observe. So I'm putting it back. You have to like pull it up a bit for you to be able to pass it through in the other side. Observe carefully. You'll see how I'm going to put it. Yes. So as you can see, I've put it. So when you put it, you now use a bearing to lock it. And once you lock it with the bearing, you can now use the clip. It has a tiny clip. You can use the tiny clip to clip it back. So that's how to fix it. So that's it for that. So be very careful whenever you are working with this bearing and these rollers. So you have to push the bearing in, and later you can clip it. Now it's time for me to put the clamping guide. I'm trying to put the clamping guide. Be very careful when putting it in order not to break your clamping guide. Be very careful in order not to break your clamping guide. Now I'm going to put the middle one. I told you initially the right hand side, on the one at the right hand side is broken, so I'm not going to put it back, but the clamp will still work with two of them, especially the middle one is the most important one. So but if you can have it completely, it's good, but if the right hand side on is not a good, left we can manage, but the middle one is very important. Ensure that the middle one is always there. So like I told you, one of them is broken, so that's it. So that's how to put your clamping guide back. You have to be very careful with that clamping guide. So now it's time to put the upper chassis of the clamp back. Watch carefully. I'm going to put the upper chassis back. I push it in from this end, then I now force it in from the other end. So now when it's inside, you can now push this rod for it to be able to come out in the other side small. So you know that's the rod that holds the clamp latch. Observe carefully and you see the direction of the clamp latch. Don't forget the clamp latch, it has a direction, and you have to put it so that it will enter perfectly with the direction. And I told you before that you have to open the clamp before you can put the clamp latches. The clamp will be open before you can put and remove the clamp latch, not when it's closed. When it's on a closed mode like this, if you try to pull it out or push it in, you can damage the teeth on the clamp latch. And the clamp latch is very important. If you are buying a clamp latch, be careful where you are buying your clamp latch, because if you get a clamp latch that is not good, your clamp will be hanging inside the stacker. So ensure your clamp latch are lapping very well when you fix it. Now we'll put this metal back. This metal helps to cushion the effect of the motor to the chassis. Now it's time for us to put the motor back. I'm putting the motor back. And remember, when I'm putting the motor, those two springs that are remaining, I pushed it down. For me to put the motor, so that if it's up, your clamp will not be going up and coming down as normal as it is. So but when it's down and the motor now press it downward, it will help when you press it to go up on its own. When you press it down, it will go down. So that's it. So now I'm tightening the screws back. I'm tightening the screws back. The screws that holds the motor to the chassis. The motor too is very important. Most times you might have issue, it might be from the motor, but most times we still tend to dismantle the motor and try to repair it. But if the motor has too much issues, I will advise you replace the motor. You can buy another motor. You can go for the part number, just replace the motor. So I'm putting this gear back. And when I put it, I have to use something to hit the mouth. Why am I hitting the mouth before putting the bearing? I don't need the bearing to fall out with ease. If you just put the bearing just like that, any small thing will make the bearing to fall out. So but when I use a heavy object or this my Allen keys to hit on it, the thing, it will damage the mouth of that rod a bit. So when I put the bearing, it will stick inside. It will not come out with ease. Observe how I'm going to do it. I'm still going to hit this one. So that's why I'm using a hard surface. I'm using a floor to do this, because I'm going to do some tapping. I can't do this on a table, so that's why I'm using a floor to do this, my tapping. So now see how I put this bearing back. That's for it not to pull out. If you don't do it like this, if you just put it normally, it might enter, but on the long run your bearings will pull out. As the machine is working, your bearings will fall out and the gears will fall out and the machine will stop working. So that's it. So I'm putting back the springs that hold the clamping guide. So these are the springs that hold the clamping guide. So you need to put back the springs carefully. If not, the clamping guide will not be able to move up and backward. So now my clamp, I've coupled it. Everything is perfect. The motors are turning well, it's opening well, and it's closing well. So that's it. So you have to make sure that your clamp is closing well and opening well. Thank you for watching this tutorial, and don't forget to subscribe and like our channel for us to be able to do more for you. Thank you.